Thank you, Kitty. And with me today, I have Anche Anselman from TUI Group. Anche, let's have a chat.
Yes.
Leisure customers, in a sense, during this crisis, as business travel has come to a halt, we have, in a sense, been saved by the leisure space. TUI Group, 5 airlines, 400 hotels, 15 cruise ships, over 1,000 travel agents, 28 million passengers under one brand. So I think you have something to say about leisure.
Yes. I'm proud to say TUI is the world's largest tourism group. So we offer fully integrated services from a single source. That means we provide services and experience to our customers along the whole value chain of the tourism process.
Absolutely. Now, what are some of the expectations from leisure travel? Again, listening to our customers, it's one of the themes we have heard. Tell us about the leisure space and uniquely what's important for us to bear in mind here, and especially with the onset of the pandemic. What has
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy to do so. But first, let's understand what are the motivations for a customer to go on a leisure trip, to go on a holiday. So 1/3 of the customers, 33%, they just want to relax. That's one of the main drivers for them to go on a holiday. To explore new worlds, new countries, new food is in the focus of 26% of the leisure customer. Togetherness is very important. 23% of the leisure customers want to spend a great time with family and friends. Then we have 12% who want to have fun, and 6% that want to be very active. They want to be challenged and have a competition along their holiday.
Oh. So with the pandemic, is that some of that changing or is it the same?
It depends. So there are some changes. So the classical sun and beach customer, of course, they need good weather. So this stays, of course. So even though the expectations of the customers are a little bit different, one thing remains the same. So they would like to have a trusted quality product, meaning a seamless experience, no hassle with the booking, no matter if they book in a travel agency or already online, and they want that their expectations come true, that what has been promised in the offer really comes true then in the destination.
Okay, so quality, trust, living up to the brand expectations, really.
Yes.
Okay, is there anything
in
else?
addition to this, especially with the COVID, with the pandemic, health and safety is an issue. Nobody would like to become ill on a journey. So to offer their value in terms of insurances or taking over responsibility to support the customer has become increasingly more important. The third aspect is flexibility and individual offers. This we all know, but it is still changing. So the typical leisure customer does not travel any longer 7, 10 or 14 days. We see the whole range of durations with the tendency to a shorter stay. Everything between 1 and 14 days is possible. For example, if the customer would like to explore Lisbon for 3 days before he hops on a cruise, or he would like to have the same room, he would like to stay in the same room as in his or her last journey and wants to book the room in the hotel right at the beginning of the booking process.
Is there anything else around the expectations of the customer? Because I want to talk about, from a group perspective, how some of this comes to life for you. So is there anything else?
Yes. Of course, the customer wants to experience, they want to take away exceptional, special memories of this trip. They would like to experience something and they would like to take this home. And last but not least, what has changed with the pandemic, the leisure and the business traveler, they melt, let's say, or they come together, the boundaries dissolve. And we see also with flexible working models that yeah, this becomes a requirement
So it's
as
like,
well to mix this.
yeah, I've seen the word bleisure a lot. I don't know if anyone has anyone seen that coined that phrase, bleisure? Yes, it's the merging of the business travel with the leisure. And actually, I was wondering if I should, let me look away from my boss, if I should stay a few more days on this trip just because I've traveled. It's my first travel since the pandemic. But it's true. It's one of the things that come to mind. So let's bring this home a little bit into our world of retailing, and from TUI Group, your experience to bring all of this to life, to meet all the trust, the safety, and all of these. You must have, from a technology perspective, a very robust technology plan, a roadmap, and where does NDC come into all of this?
Yes. So TUI has a strong, trusted brand and products covering these expectations, including sustainability, of course,
Yes.
which will also evolve and become more important, especially for younger customers. But besides the expansion of our core business, we are also undergoing a digital transformation. So we are expanding on our digital platforms to, yeah, what did Frederick say? To have the crucial enabler at place to make this experience for the customer seamless. And in relation to flights, we have built a platform called the Global Flight Marketplace within TUI, where we can connect different sources, so from our own airline and also third-party airlines.
Okay, so order management comes into play with this then?
Yes,
Yeah?
that's in our DNA, of course.
Yeah.
So we have had our first NDC connections in 2017. So it now works for all our business models. We do packaging, we sell it as flight only, but of course there's more into it for value creation. I see the same. So for example, so to have these specific leisure bundles for certain customer groups, meeting the expectations I mentioned before. So have special leisure bundles for the activity customer, for the family customer, etc.
And on the NDC part, tell us a little bit about the NDC and how is that coming to life?
It's live within
Yes.
TUI, so we connect with different sources. Of course, so I think you mean in terms of the industry, how to move
Yes,
on?
yes. And I
So
mean, NDC in general, how is it implemented? And because of your implementation, like what are you seeing and what more as an industry could we actually bring to light?
we have to work together. That I think that for sure. So it is important to engage jointly to driving things further. So we do this. We are part of the NDCX Advisory Forum, the Implementation Forum. So we have to work together there. NDC 21.3 is a result of this, of course. But of course, the requirements of the travel trade, they need to be considered, and they are brought to table there. That's very important. And airlines need to understand that when it comes to tour operators, duty of care is a very important aspect. Tour operators in the EU are required by law that all components of the trip are fulfilled properly, not just the flight, but everything that comes along this customer journey. The tour operator is required in a case of a schedule change or a crisis to take care of the customer so that all the components of the journey are really fulfilled properly.
It almost seems that if you have this liability, that means, I mean, servicing was already super, super important, but it almost feels like there's an additional weight in terms of the responsibility or the context that the airlines need to take into account for servicing for contexts like a tour operator in the EU at least. I'm not sure with other jurisdictions. So the capability of servicing, are you seeing that come to life? How are you seeing that?
It's evolving, yes. But still, every airline is very individual. So, but in order to make this a scalable model, we have to contribute all to make it work so that we really have servicing and automation of the processes coming.
Okay. And so the servicing, the collaboration, what about in the onboarding? So as a tour operator, working with an an airline partner bringing their NDC content into play, is there anything in terms of the onboarding and the kinds of conversations that need to take place that's unique to leisure or taking into this account?
Yes. So I think one that is not unique to leisure, but to all, let's say, travel agents, let's say it this way, is transparency and capabilities and partnership aspects. So understanding also the NDC capabilities roadmap of the airline to see when this is really technically ready to be integrated into our processes. And tour operators, that's a special aspect here. The production very often relies on caches. Now, NDC, dynamic pricing, and caches do not really fit together, but we encourage all our partners, airline, IT providers, that we engage jointly to see how inspirational search for the benefit of the customer can work in relation to NDC.
Is there anything else you want to share with us in terms of leisure, in terms of the expectations of the customer?
We have to understand the expectations. So as a tour operator, let's say towards the airlines, I can say the flight is only one part of the leisure customer. So this needs to be taken into consideration. And of course, let's try to define the NDC product for the leisure customer jointly.
Yes, okay, so collaboration, the servicing aspects, the onboarding, taking it into context. I just have a final question for you, Anshe. Going back to the duty of care, from a tour operator's perspective, you will be, in order for the airline to give the best care and the best service and the best product to the customer, there's some information that you would need to pass through to the airline for them to have the context to be able to give the relevant offers. Is that how, I'm not sure if all of, how does that work today and how would things need to change in that regard when you think about bringing the service to a quality for a leisure customer?
Yes. I think to share data is up to the customer. So he has to decide what he wants to share. I think it will be a good start if we define a leisure bundle for certain customer groups to start with. Okay. But why not, if I may be bold in the future, if the customer is a frequent traveler in business travel and a VIP customer of TUI, I think there can be a good offer can be made to this customer as well.
Okay, thank you. And what would you like to say to all the airlines who are bringing NDC content into yourself as TUI Group, but speaking really on behalf of those who provide leisure travel? What are the top things that you want them to remember?
As I said, so flight is only one component of the leisure experience for this customer. The customer would like to have a seamless experience. So in a survey that we did is that, of course, they do not like queues. Yeah? So queuing at the airport or queuing at the hotel restaurant is not good, so we have to ensure that the quality is really right and meet the customer expectations.
Yes, absolutely. So what I'm hearing is the onboarding is important, the collaboration is important, the servicing is key, and understanding the context of the leisure customer, especially in the crisis, is super important. Thank you very much for sharing with us, Anshe. Ladies and gentlemen, please help us to thank Anshe for sharing with us. Thank you.